The time is 6:15. Here is the news edited by Dulmin Samrasingha, read by Victor Raj. First, take a look at the headlines of the local news. Travel restrictions will not be relaxed until the 7th of next month. The COVID vaccination program is now being successfully implemented. Investigations launched to find the persons responsible for the Express Pearl ship disaster. Mayor of Moratuwa Municipal Council, who was arrested for unruly behavior during a vaccination program, remanded. Foreign news: Syria's President al-Assad elected by a landslide. Sports news: Sri Lanka gives a target of 287 runs to Bangladesh in the third one-day international. Local news in detail. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has decided not to relax travel restrictions until the 7th of next month. The President has taken the decision when the COVID Prevention Committee met at the Presidential Secretariat this morning. He has pointed out that the behavior of the people when the travel restrictions were relaxed on the 25th could lead to the spread of the disease. The steps taken by the government to prevent the spread of the virus could be unsuccessful due to such conduct. Mobile marketing vehicles can distribute goods needed by the people. People can leave their homes only for essential services when there are travel restrictions. It is compulsory to keep the service identity card and the letter calling for duties from the place of work when travelling on roads. Giving the Sinopharm vaccine commenced on the 8th of this month. The people who were given the first dose will begin the second dose at the same place from the 8th of next month. The President emphasized the need to streamline and continuation of the vaccination in the districts identified by the health authorities. The COVID vaccination program is now being successfully implemented. It took place in Gol, Mathura, Kurunagal districts today. District Secretary Santha Veerasinghe said that vaccination took place at 6 places in the district today. Priority will be given to high-risk areas. Mathura District Secretary Pradeep Ratnayaka said that people in Malimbada, Akurasa, Valigama and Devinura in Mathura districts were given the vaccine today. Priority will be given to high-risk areas in the Kurunagal district. District Secretary R. Ratnayaka said the 50,000 vaccine doses were given to the people in the district. He said that another 50,000 vaccines are expected. State Minister Nalaka Godaheva says that 513 containers out of the 1,468 in the Express Pearl ship were to be unloaded in Sri Lanka. He said that ocean life and Sri Lanka coast are under danger due to the destruction of the containers in the ship. The Disaster Management Unit has commenced cleaning the beach with the armed forces. Investigations have been launched to find persons responsible for the disaster. Local authorities have not been informed about the leak before the ship arrived in Sri Lanka. The State Minister, during a media briefing in Colombo today, said that ship has sailed according to its legal route. Meanwhile, Navy Commander Vice Admiral Nishanta Ulugatana said that the fire in the ship has been controlled to a large extent and there is no danger of the ship breaking into two. State Minister Kanchana Vijayasekara said that it was announced during the past few days not to engage in fishing activities in that sea areas. Therefore, unnecessary fear should not be entertained about the fish stocks purchased from the market. A decision has been taken to provide some relief to the fisheries community who lost their daily income due to the disaster. The State Minister said that there are about 38 sectors linked to the fisheries industry. He said that relief will be provided to people in all those sectors. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news. Mayor of Moratuwa Municipal Council Samanlal Fernando, who was arrested for unruly behavior during the COVID-19 vaccination program at Moratuwa, has been remanded until 11th of next month. He was arrested after surrendering to Mount Lavinia police this morning and produced before the Mount Lavinia Magistrates Court. According to reports, the mayor had obstructed the duties of medical officers proceeding with the inoculation program. State Minister Sehant Semasinghe said the government has decided to pay the 5,000 rupees allowance from 2nd of next month. He said that the allowance will be provided to some of the beneficiaries, persons who are already receiving government allowances, low-income earners, and those who have lost their income due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The State Minister added that the government expects to allocate a sum of 30 billion rupees in order to pay the allowance. The Sadaham Varsha program, chanting Ratana Sutra, wishing good health for the people in the country and the world, commenced near the boatry at the premises of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The vehicle with Mahasangha chanting Ratana Sutra is touring Nugegoda Maharagama Kottava Mattegoda housing scheme, Talavatugoda Kotte and Narayanpeta areas today. It is being done on the instructions of the SLBC chairman Jayampati Bandara Heen Kendra and Director General Chandrapala Liyanage. National Lotteries Board is the sponsor of the religious ceremony. That ends local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Minister Keheli Rambukwala says that the only way to save the people from the pandemic is to vaccinate all of them. He said that government will take steps to vaccinate everyone. He pointed out that the global demand for the vaccine has delayed the country receiving them. That ends main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight, malpractices have been reported from the institutions under the Wildlife and Forest Conservation Ministry and the departments. Minister C.B. Ratnayaka said that a special unit will be established considering the complaints made by the people. He said that Cabinet has given its approval to set up the units. That ends Watchlight. Moving on to world news, let's take a look at the headlines. Syria's President al-Ashar elected by a landslide. Hong Kong passes bill to revise electoral laws. South Korea launches system to prevent wasted vaccine doses. World news in detail. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has won re-election for a fourth term in office by a landslide. The presidential election was held on Wednesday in government-controlled areas of the country, where civil war still continues. Assad has served as president for the past 21 years. Syria's state-run media said Assad won 95.1% of the votes, eclipsing 2 other candidates. He will be in office for 7 more years. Observers say the victory will allow the president to claim the legitimacy of his rule despite a decade-old conflict with anti-government forces. South Korea's government launched a new online system yesterday to help prevent coronavirus vaccine doses from being wasted. Medical institutions can input the number of leftover doses into the system. People can check the number of doses available at different locations and times through the website and map apps. They can register with medical institutions and be notified if there are any leftovers. Hong Kong's legislature has passed a bill to revise electoral laws in a move that could lead to the exclusion of pro-democracy forces from politics. Yesterday, the Legislative Council amended by a majority vote the law related to elections for Hong Kong's chief executive and lawmakers. China decided to introduce the new election system at the National People's Congress in March. It says Hong Kong should be governed by patriots. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Syria's President al-Assad re-elected by landslide. Hong Kong passes bill to revise electoral laws. South Korea launches system to prevent wasted vaccine doses. That ends world news. Moving on to development news. Sri Lanka's agriculture sector is scheduled to receive fresh impetus with the Ministry of Finance and the World Bank having signed a new grant from the European Union. The grant that will support the agriculture sector modernization project, which is a part of EU's 25 million euro support to the $125 million project. The funds will be administered by the World Bank and will support the expansion of agriculture clusters in Kandy, Badulla, Ampara, Kilnochi and Vavuniya districts. That ends development news. Sports news is brought to you by...
When Aya bought a motorbike, he bought 2 helmets. So sweet of him. I'm sure the other one is for me.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikang neve.
The third and final ODI between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh is now being played at Dhaka, Bangladesh. Sri Lanka won the toss and chose to bat first. Sri Lanka scored 286 runs for 6 wickets in 50 overs. Bangladesh was 50 for 3 wickets in 16 overs a short while ago. A panel of public health experts has found issues over anti-infection measures at the Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic Village for athletes and staff. Panel members discussed the issues at a meeting today after visiting the village. They cited the need for enough space for self-isolation in case infections occur. U.S. sportswear giant Nike says it stopped working with Brazilian footballer Neymar because he refused to cooperate in a good faith investigation into an allegation of sexual assault against an employee. The alleged incident happened in 2016 and was reported to Nike in 2018. A spokeswoman for Neymar said he denied the sexual assault and split with Nike last year for commercial reasons. That ends sports news.
My wife always sets a full lunch table even if it's just the 2 of us. She always expects people to drop by, like maybe the army.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikang neve.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Sales soared at Tokyo Cement Company as the cement maker benefited from a strong rebound in housing and construction activities in the first quarter of 2021, which made the company to add more weight to its production. Sri Lanka's largest locally owned cement manufacturer and the market leader in ready-mix concrete generated sales of 12.4 billion rupees in the 3 months to 31st March 2021, the company's fourth fiscal quarter, up by a robust 47% from the same period in 2020. That ends Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Moving on to economic news, Sri Lanka plans to bring around 1,000 foreign and local investors to one platform to discuss the potential investment opportunities in the country in an investment forum 2021. Sri Lanka Ceylon Chambers of Commerce, the Board of Investments and Colombo Stock Exchange is holding 3-day virtual investment forum to inform investors about the potential foreign direct investment as well as in listed companies and private equity. The forum will be conducted virtually from 7th to 9th of June. That ends economic news.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says showers will occur at times in Sabaragamuwa province and in Nuwara and Kandy districts. Fairly heavy falls above 50 mm can be expected at some places in these areas. Several spells of showers will occur in western and northwestern provinces and in Gol and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places in Uva province and Ampara and Batiklu districts during the evening or night. Wind speed can be increased up to 40 km per hour at times over the island, and especially wind speed can increase up to 50 km per hour at times in western slopes of the Central Hills, northern, north central and northwestern provinces, and in Trincomalee and Hambantota districts. That ends Weather Report.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
To wrap up the evening news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka, recap of headlines. Travel restrictions will not be relaxed until the 7th of next month. The COVID vaccination program is now being successfully implemented. Investigations launched to find the persons responsible for the Express Pearl ship disaster. Mayor of the Moratuwa Municipal Council, who was arrested for unruly behavior during a vaccination program, remanded. Foreign news, Syria's President al-Ashadri elected by a landslide. Sports news, Sri Lanka gives a target of 287 runs to Bangladesh in the third one-day international. That ends the evening news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka. Back to my good friend and yours, Geethanjali Ramana.